We're going to assemble this Arrows Hobby T-28 Trojan. It's 1.1 meter wingspan. I must confess I have already started work on this. I started it about a week ago. Some of you may like what I've done, some of you may not. I put on this model what I call popper dots. What are popper dots? Well, it's a term that was phrased by pilot Mike from Motion RC. He sent in an aircraft to the Merry Boozers RC channel and asked them to weather it. And one of the things the senior of that group, who's about my age, does is put dots on them. And because he was the father, it was phrased as popper dots. So I'm going to stick to that phrase. And basically what it's about following all the panel lines, all the hatches, and putting dots on them. And it just brings it out a little bit. And to me, I've looked at it, it looks okay. Let me take a closer look. You can see the panel lines. And you can see the rivets or screws, whatever you want to decide they are, it doesn't matter. It's just an extra bit of detailing. And I've done this on the fuselage as well. I've also put my own nose art on, which I like. It's one of my anime girls. You just follow the panel lines. And when there's hatches, you can do those a bit differently. The other thing I've done is, as you know, I had some spare props from the box opening. So they're here, I've put the stickers on them, so they're not quite ready to go because they're not balanced. Now this was the prop that came with the model. And it had quite a nasty chip off this leading edge. Not unlike this one, or I should say top edge. This is the leading edge because it rotates counterclockwise. And I didn't like that. Now I could have put paint over it, but I decided to take the shortcut. I put some white panel tape over it. Now that of course caused this to become the heavy blade, so I needed to balance it. And in order to get this balanced, and it is perfectly balanced, this is what I've had to do. So I've had to stick some of the fibre reinforced tape here, fibre reinforced tape here, a bit more, and a tiny bit of fibre reinforced tape here. Now that balances that out perfectly. So that's good to go. These two are spares which will need balancing out, and this one will need either paint on there or for me to put my panel tape on it and then balance them out. So those are two spares. So we have two bags. One is purely for the propeller hub. And then we have our goodies bag, and within the goodie bag we have the elevator push rod and clevis. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts with 2mm Allen heads. There to bolt the main wing in. Then we have 3 screws, of which we only need 2. They are for the horizontal stabilizer. We will need those. And there's 1 spare of each. Pop a screw in. It's one of these tiny black ones, which is a cross head screw. Toolkit. Yeah. Now with that one secure, I can push in the carbon rod. That's as far as it will go. And they're connected. We've got free movement, nothing rubbing, and they're well held in place. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to put the connection on it so it's all done at the tail end. The holes aren't big enough. So the arms on this servo, the holes in them are not big enough for the push rod that's provided in the kit. So we have to make them bigger. And I do that simply by putting a sharp scalpel blade into the hole and giving it a twist. There we are. I put it on the bottom hole because that's exactly what it's showing here. But that might just be artistic license, I don't know. I would like to have gone on the top hole, but it's drawn showing the bottom hole of the servo arm to the top hole of the horn. That's what I'm going to do to start with. Then when we check the movements out and everything, we'll see where we are. So now I'm just going to connect this to the bottom hole of the horn. I hope that these fit. Yep, fit lovely. That looks pretty straight actually. Gorgeous. And then we can feed our cables through the hole in the top. So this mass of cables here have to be fed through a hole in the fuselage. So that's one neat joint. Let's try this one. That one is. I don't think this tail end one was. Let's try the front one. Front ones are fine. It's just the back ones.
2 hours later.
Front ones go in so easily, the back ones, and I mean this, you have to be absolutely brutal with it. So I've got one front one to put in here. This one's in. You can see it's pinching the foam a bit, but you have to be brutal, and I mean brutal. I had to bruise all the foam around the nut part. It's got a plastic strip with two brass nuts embedded in it at either end. I've had to crush all the foam around that, and in order to get these to bite, I'll show you, it's very unpleasant. That is brutally hard. I've pushed it on there, but it's gone. Oh my god, it wasn't comfortable doing it. And again, I have to stress here, why hasn't anybody that I'm aware of who's made one of these put them together, pointed out how difficult it is to do these back two bolts? Because if you were thinking that you might take this apart at the field or put it together at the field, forget it. So I'm just going to pinch these all down now.